Hello and welcome again. We're going to go over creating and using custom events now. So we're going to create a custom event, publish it, and then handle it between modules. The key reason behind this is so that modules can stay separate but still communicate in a very loosely coupled manner. So we're going to go ahead and just create a new module. And let's call this events tutorial. All right. So we'll kind of make this as if it's a game controller of some sort. All right, so let's go ahead and create an event. And let's call this start game. And we'll go ahead and add a property and let's just call this message. Simple enough. All right. So usually where we actually create the event is usually where you want to publish it. It kind of makes sense to do that way. You can, publish from other modules. It just depends on what functionality you're trying to achieve. All right, so let's actually create a new system, and let's just call this game system. All right, so in the game system, there's a special event called the Game Ready event, and this is actually a built-in uFrame kernel event that lets you know that, hey, everything is set up and ready to go. So what we're going to do is select that event. And for this event, we don't need a group because this isn't going to be specific to any component. It's just going to kind of execute in its own world. So let's do this. Let's rename this to wait before start. And let's go into this. We'll create our publish event. So just select that. Then now we get to choose our event. So right now we've got start game. And right now we don't have a message. So let's just create a new string. We'll call it hello for now. This is a completely useless example, but it gets the point across. All right. But actually, we don't want to publish this event just yet. So let's add some. Let's make it a little bit more fun. And what we'll do is let's remove this connection, and let's go ahead and create a new timer. There we go. So a timer is going to execute only once after the allotted time completes. So let's create a new int. And let's give it a value of 3. And we'll connect this to the seconds. All right, we got our integer and our string there. All right, so now it's going to be 3 seconds before this event fires. So, oh, forgot to, on complete, we need to actually send it to the publish event. So let's watch this happen. I'm going to actually set a breakpoint here. And all right, let's save and compile. All right, now when we hit play, so we can see that it's currently hitting the timer. So let's actually just hit step. And now we got our publish event. All right. Now let's continue. So now we know our event is being published for sure. Remove this breakpoint so it'll stop me there every time. All right. So now let's go back to our groups tutorial here. And let's say the player system. Let's create a event here. And let's use our event, which I believe was start game. So what we can do here is when there's kind of like a global event, it's not really associated with any kind of entity. You can choose a group still. And by default, what happens is if there aren't any specific mappings, like a mapping to some other, entity or entity ID or collider ID, on a collision event, what you can do is still define a group, but it's going to execute this handler for every item in that group. Player. So whenever we start the game, let's do event group. Let's set its state to, let's grab a num value. Let's make them rotate whenever the game started. So we just need a set variable, state, and set it to rotating. So let's go ahead and add a breakpoint here. Save and compile. Which we don't have to add the breakpoint before we save and compile, but I just happened to do it that way. So our set variable is hit. Let's click on our cube. Right now he's in the idle state. So continue, and now he's rotating. So trying it one more time. 3 seconds, and boom, he hits the set variable.